Probably not, but let a man dream. Yo ho ho, Dom Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Dom Mafia Report. I know that a lot of you maybe have met him on my live stream, but this is Groot. This is the new pup. He is a new member to the Bills Mafia himself. Groot, as in the Marvel character, and of course our defensive end, Mr. Rousseau. I thought I'd go on ahead and just make this bad boy a little appearance, and so give this guy a nice little appearance at the end of the day. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you did read that title correctly. Should the Buffalo Bills make a move for Deebo Samuel? In case any of you have not been paying attention to the news, Deebo Samuel has requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to see if it would make any sense in this world that Brandon Beane would end up making some type of move to bring, in my opinion, one of the most dynamic wide receivers in the entire game. And we are going to get into that pretty heavy right after you hear a word from today's sponsor. So you want to support the channel, do you? Well, hands down, the easiest way is simply just by smashing the out of that like button. But say any of you ever want to go the extra mile, Patreon is hands down the way to do it. Now, Patreon is a platform that allows the audience to support the actual creator and in turn take those funds and improve their overall content for your enjoyment. Just to give you a little tour down on the Dom Mafia Patreon page, I am offering 5 tier options. Number 1, we have the Nathan Peterman tier. And for $3, you are not only going to get a shout out on my next YouTube video, I am also going to follow you on Twitter, and you will have access to my Patreon only video for your eyes only. Say you're a true baller and want to go up to the 2nd tier, you have now entered into the dildo on the field tier. As we all know that iconic moment, and it would have felt like a sin if I didn't include this in my tier titles. For $5, not only do you get all of the benefits in the Nathan Peterman tier, but you also get access to all of my videos ad-free. So many of you are always just like, oh my god, Dan, the ads are super damn annoying. Well, now you have an opportunity to watch them exclusively ad-free. Last but not least, you will be invited to the monthly Don Mafia Zoom call where we can all just sit down, shoot the shit, talk football, talk Bills. It's always a great time. So moving on up the ladder, we have the Table Breaker tier. And for $10, not only do you get everything in the 2 previous tiers, but I will also be a guest on your YouTube channel or your podcast. And so you'll also be invited to one of my 2 Don Mafia fantasy football leagues next year. So say, for example, that you just want to get absolutely smoked in fantasy football, then you're going to want to talk to your boy. So what's good about this is that I actually have a bunch of content plans surrounding this, so you'll also be invited onto the channel for anything related to those fantasy football leagues. Next up, we have the Pinto Ron tier. For $20, you get everything that is in the previous tiers, plus you will be invited to my weekly Q&A live stream where you can come on and I want to hear your takes on some of the questions that we are getting from the live chat. Super exciting. Just do me a favor and be an adult. Don't get me canceled. And the final tier, the Stash Allen tier. For $50, first off, if you give me this much money, I'm sincerely questioning your financial responsibility. Just in case you do, not only do you get all of the previous benefits of the previous tiers, you are also going to get access to be a regular guest on my game day live stream reactions during halftime. You can give me your drunken takes on what Josh Allen just did to that poor defense. We can just shoot the shit and have a good time. And so last but not least, you will be able to have a one-on-one Zoom call where you and I can just chill, we can talk football and do it up. So Dom Mafia, by no means is this a requirement. Like I said, from the bottom of my heart, you guys have been rolling with me ever since I ended up dropping my very first Buffalo Bills video. I just wanted to put that out there for anybody that has ever asked me in the past. Thank you so much, and back to you, Dan. The link's in the description just in case you're interested. But moving on to the news today. As mentioned previously, basically Deebo Samuel ended up telling a reporter out of ESPN that he has told the 49ers that he would like to be traded. Now, this probably has to do with the fact that he feels like he is being significantly underpaid, which he most certainly is, especially after the 2021 season that he ended up putting up in San Francisco. In fact, he's on the last year of his rookie deal, it appears, and it looks like that he is due in 2022 $3 million, $3.9 million, and then I think a $900,000 bonus structure. Now, let's put it this way. No one anticipated that the Niners were going to use him the way that they did last year. I mean, guy ended up racking, what was it, like 1,400 receiving yards last year? And then not even mentioning how many he did when he was acting as a running back for that offense. In my opinion, if they didn't have this guy in their backfield and on the outside as a receiver, they wouldn't have made the playoff run that they would have. So with all of that being said, SpotTrack is currently putting Deebo Samuel at a market value of $22.4 million a year. Now, the issue is, especially when it comes from a Buffalo Bills fan, we are in an interesting position when it comes to our overall cap. Where it stands right now, the Buffalo Bills are sitting at $8.1 million. And there's a couple of things that we need to put into account here. Number one, we have a dilemma. I wouldn't even say it's a dilemma. It's just something to think about with Jordan Poyer, our all-pro safety. There's probably a contract that's going to have to be written up prior to the season. And then also we need to have a little bit of money to pay any of our draft picks as we gear up for the draft coming in a couple of weeks. So would it make sense? Could Brandon Beane somehow finagle something that would entice Deebo to come to the Buffalo Bills? Now, there's a couple of things that I think that Brandon Beane could do. For example, he could backload this entire contract. Like I said, he is only due $3.9 million this year with a signing bonus. I'm sure Beane could easily convert that into some type of signing bonus for him if he were to make the move and then backload the contract. Or, say for example, that he just wants to completely switch out of the Niners, sort of use him as a one-year prove-it deal, one-year rental, show the entire world that this was just not a fluke, and then say after he goes to Buffalo and wins a Super Bowl, then he can go on ahead and test the market afterwards. There's a couple of ways that this could happen. Do I see it happening? Probably not. I'm not going to lie to you. However, if it were, this would answer so many issues that we have in our offense, which is, in my opinion, very few. If you get a guy like Deebo Samuel, not only are you getting speed, we need somebody that has the ability to stretch the field, we also need a damn run game, right? I mean, with Devin Singletary and Zach Moss currently in the backfield, we really don't have an answer for somebody that can be a dynamic threat on the ground. And Deebo Samuel has shown that he could be a huge asset on the receiving side and the running side. So there's no question. I'm not going to sit here and debate with you that this guy wouldn't instantly make our offense better. He most certainly would. The question is would Brandon Beane even entertain the idea of him coming to this team? Now, knowing Beane, I guarantee you that he has already made a call to the front office for the 49ers. But if I'm a gambling man, I would probably have to say that he is not going to be a Buffalo Bill within the next couple of weeks. I would be sincerely surprised. I would be absolutely fucking thrilled if it happened. But at this point, I think that we're probably going to be pumping the brakes when it comes to any type of major deals. This comes up with probably one of the craziest off seasons on the face of the planet, especially when it comes down into paying receivers. So there's no question that Deebo wants to get his, right? He wants to get his money. So we're going to have to see how this all plays out. Keep in mind, this is something that I think a lot of people forget. When somebody requests a trade, that team doesn't need to honor that. They could be like, well, dude, you're under contract for one more year. Good luck. That means that they could keep him, he could sit out for an entire year, and then he can try and weigh his options afterwards. Think of like a Le'Veon Bell situation. So with the Deebo Samuel trade requests, this may not even be a possibility for any team in the NFL. If it does happen, the only thing I ask is please don't go to the AFC East. For the love of God, please do not go to the AFC East. And hell, you know what? I'll do you one better. Don't even go into the AFC. Okay, we're star-studded enough. There's plenty of competition. I feel like the NFC needs, some type of marketability at this point. I mean, who are you excited about to watch in the NFC this year? Let's be completely honest with ourselves. So besides that, Dom Mafia, I just wanted to do a quick little video really just painting a picture, seeing if this would even be a possibility and how ecstatic we would be if it did happen. Leave your comments. Let me know, would it be worth it? How would you think Brandon Beane would structure this contract if it were to happen? Always love hearing your thoughts. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of the Dom Mafia Report. And before I let you go, you better always remember, let's go Buffalo.